viewers, welcome to this presentation on conducting an effective webinar session. Thank you for your interest on this topic, and I hope you benefit from these tips that I share in this presentation. I'm Sanjay Mishra, Education Specialist e-learning at the Commonwealth of Learning, and it is my pleasure to share some ideas to use webinars effectively. These days, webinars have become very common as you can reach large number of people directly. The technology available today makes it easier for us to set up webinars in minutes through few mouse clicks. There are many web tools that are also available on mobile devices, such as smartphones, making it easier to connect to people anywhere, anytime. It helps your audience to attend a lecture of an expert and engage in discussion with many people around the world at the same time. For your organization, it may help in building audience engagement, and for you, it will help building your personal brand. So it is important to conduct your webinar effectively. I recommend following a 4 steps approach, which is the main focus of this presentation. These cyclic steps are planning, delivering, sharing, and measuring. So let's start. First, in the planning process, technology plays a very important role. But we're assuming that you already have a web-based webinar tool. I'm not recommending any specific tool here. Most of these, whether commercial or open source, perform equally well and are more dependent on the internet bandwidth of the users. The planning process is more of a series of decision-making steps where you take decisions on several aspects of the webinar. In the planning, the first aspect is what would be your topic. The choice of the topic is related to the purpose of the webinar and the audience you are targeting. So you must ask yourself, will the topic be of interest to the target audience? Is it only an information and marketing type topic or a controversial one that will have more debate and discussion? If your audience needs special knowledge to join your webinar, you are certainly going to reach only a small but niche target group. Is the topic of significant importance to attract your audience? Can you cover the topic in about 30 minutes? Is it more of a procedural demonstration? Answering these questions will help you decide on the topic of your webinar. In fact, you need a bit of creativity to make the webinar title attractive. If the topic is of not contemporary like artificial intelligence or use of AR, VR in education. Using a question on the title helps to raise expectation of the audience. But doing all this will not bring large number of people to your webinar if you fail to market it adequately. Since webinars could be accessed by anyone from anywhere, you have the potential world audience. But you do not want the whole world to join your session. You have a specific target group. How do you decide the time of this session to reach your audience in different time zones? Sometimes it is better to repeat your session to provide live audience interaction. But most of the time, a judicious choice of the time covering the most number of countries and time zones would help maximize participation. Of course, this scheduling also has to be suitable to the expert speaker. Sharing the photo and profile of the speakers also help to get more people to the webinar. In addition to a suitable scheduling, it is also important to focus on multiple channels of communications to reach the target audience. Most organizations have a safe mailing list that can be used for target marketing. Remember, in many countries, there are strict regulations for spam. Therefore, your email-based communication has to be specific and only sent to those who have given prior consent. Such communication works well when it is personalized by name and not just sent as dear all and so and so. Other ways of marketing are to use social media platforms where you can do paid promotion of the event to specific audience. Some organizations create a web form for registration and then use this to send reminders before the schedule, say 1 day before. Note that we are all busy people in our own sphere of work. And if you want your audience to join with you, it's better to send them a gentle reminder. In the planning stage of your webinar, you also need to decide on the format of the webinar. Depending on the format you choose, you need to identify the expert or the speakers. For example, it may be perfectly all right for you to use a lecture or demonstration. But for some topics, you may like to have a discussion like a television debate to provide multiple perspectives on a topic, or interview an expert or a celebrity professor to share her research findings. The discussion, particularly, you need to focus on the format, and this decision that you will take will dictate the kind of efforts and resources you may need to make the webinar effective. The next point in planning is to decide who will be the host. You may be a coordinator or the speaker. It is better to have a host who can perform multiple roles, such as introducing the speaker, moderating the session, summarizing the key points of the session, and manage time. Sometimes your host can also provide technical assistance to the participants having trouble. Host or a moderator can play an important role when there is no question from the audience. So you have someone besides the presenter who is able to steer the presentation towards its goal. If this presentation was a live webinar, this point could have been a good break time to have a short 2 to 3 minutes question answer. But I will proceed here to explain the next step. Remember, a successful webinar depends on good content that is delivered well. Having a good slide deck is half job done. Take note that you do not have a lot of time to communicate your ideas. So it is better to be precise and thus less is better. Do not forget to check the technology in advance and join the session before 10 minutes to welcome others. Chatting with others in the beginning help build rapport with the audience. Before the actual session starts, share a slide showing coming soon or starts at so and so time to help those joining early know that the session is coming up and they are in the right session. A key point in presentation is to engage the audience. So while preparing your slide deck, plan for breaks, preferably in every 10 minutes. So if you have a 30 minutes presentation, plan for break in 7 minutes, 17 minutes, and 27 minutes. During presentation, speaking slowly is important to communicate your message. Normally, by practice and rehearsal, you can achieve this. But you can also adapt to the situation, and it is here a good host can help to guide by providing private messages during the presentation. Introduction is normally the task of the host. First, welcome the participants. Then, recognize that many people have joined this session by naming some of them and welcoming them to the session. Ask the audience to introduce themselves by sharing the name of their institution and country in the chat box. As a part of the introduction segment, the host should share the protocols, especially about recording the webinar, how to ask questions, and the importance of making the mic mute while not speaking. Providing information about the presence of chat box and raising hand online to ask questions always help the audience. Those participants who are concerned about privacy should be advised to switch off their video. Next is to introduce the speaker. While introducing the speaker, provide a brief about his or her work and how it is related to the topic of this session. Highlight interesting facts about the person without sharing personal information. Sharing a photo helps the audience to connect, as sometimes the video may be switched off due to bandwidth related issues. During presentation, the key is to communicate your ideas and engage with your audience. So, to focus on key ideas, your use of mouse pointer is important to highlight. Use breaks to ask questions and interact. If there are no questions, use the breaks to ask a couple of participants by name with request to reflect or comment. Of course, do not ask the same participants all the time. Give opportunity to as many people as time permits. At the end, do not forget to summarize your presentation. Summarizing at the end helps remembering and learning the key message. It is better to use 3 to 5 key points that people can actually use as takeaways from the presentation. This is not the closing of the webinar. It is the last part of the delivery of the webinar, which is more or less done by the host to facilitate the question and answer session. It is important to take questions asked in the chat box or question and answer option first as a protocol before making the session open for asking questions on mic. Once all the questions are covered, it is time for the host to make a summary debriefing to thank the speakers and all the participants. When the webinar is over, many of us feel relaxed. In fact, the work is not over yet. A successful webinar is one that is shared well amongst the stakeholders. What are the important steps to share the webinar recordings? For that, first, you need to download or process the webinar from the cloud or online sharing the link. If you upload it to a video platform or a community of practice, do not forget to tag the webinar with appropriate keywords. Tagging will help discoverability of the recorded webinar. Also, make it a point to send the link to the participants who like to have a record. You can only do this if you have a registration process for the participants. Otherwise, this is not possible. But this is a good practice to follow. Sharing of the webinar link through social media also helps reaching more people, and it is a good practice of engagement for your organization. Measuring impact, this is the fourth stage. Measuring impact has become an essential part of our work. So it is also important to have a strategy to measure the impact of the webinar. This helps us in continuous improvement. We need to learn from what went well and how we need to improve. Measuring can take different forms and need different strategies. Of course, it is ideal to do the planning for measuring at the planning stage itself. The easiest way to measure is to send a feedback survey link. This is normally called satisfaction level feedback. By doing this, you can also get suggestions on future topics that you can take up as webinars. You can further measure at the level of engagements. You may like to provide a digital badge to the participants. This is possible if you have their emails. Using available digital credentialing tools, you can also track the use of the badges and their sharing in different social media to understand engagements. Engagements can also be tracked if you have a community of practice and if there are online discussions about the webinar. You may also like to track the social media engagements for the webinar if you have shared the recordings. All the data collected can help us develop a matrix to analyze the impact of the webinar. Such impact measurement is useful in comparing how different topics were received by the stakeholders and see what more can be done. Also, we can justify value for money of the webinars in a year by considering all the sessions organized and audience reached. While planning and undertaking impact analysis of webinars, always remember the purpose, audience, and efforts. Impact is always a result of multiple factors. Here, I reach the end of the presentation. In this video presentation, I have provided you some tips to plan, deliver, share, and measure successful webinar. We covered key issues in planning such as choice of topics, host issues, marketing, and scheduling. In delivery, I shared some tips to make your webinar engaging. In sharing and measuring, I highlighted some of the good practices that you can adopt in your practice. Do let us know how this presentation helped you. Thank you for watching till the end.